march strong. You are a man of God. Voice of men of God, grab your sword and shield. Fight the good fight of faith, for real. Jesus can help us do the Father's will. Don't you give up and have no doubt, no fear. Walk by faith and not by sight. Be strong in the Lord and the power of His might. Come and stand up. You are the man of God. Yup, that's right. You are the man of God. Rise up, voice of men of God. You're called to fight the holy war. Grab His armor, prepare to fight. We win because of His might. Stand strong, voice of men of God. Don't fear, just trust in the Lord. He's a faith, your shield in front of you. March strong, you are a man of God. Boys and men of God. That's right, everybody everywhere. Boys and men of God. Rise up. Boys and men of God. Let the Spirit of God rise up in you. Boys and men of God. Right here, right now. Rise up, boys and men of God. You're called to fight the holy war. Grab His armor, prepare to fight. We win because of Come on. Stand strong, boys and men of God. Don't fear, just trust in the Lord. He's a faith, your shield in front of you. March strong, you are a man of God.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Boys and Men of Gods podcast.
Yeah, welcome back. What's up? What's up?
We back.
Good day.
Oh man.
Right now,
Well, y'all,
it's gonna be a new day.
It's gonna be a new day. Yeah, definitely. Well, y'all,
Absolutely.
I'm just thankful to Father God that we're able to bring it back for yet another month. Isn't that right, Bishop?
That's right. That's right. We're back, y'all.
I'm your host, Pastor Jethro Banks, and I'm here with my co-host, Bishop Banks. Here.
Yeah, what's up? What's
And
up,
we got a
y'all?
returning guest in the house.
Yeah, the one and
Come on.
only, the former mayor of Peekskill, New York.
Good day, everybody. Good day.
Hey, ready?
Happy to be back.
Yeah, glad you have the
happy to
house,
be back,
fam.
Yeah, man. Welcome back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's family from off of my wife's side of the family, man. On the Winston
Setup
side,
is beautiful too, man.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't no
Okay.
joke over here.
Yeah.
God's working.
Yeah.
Trying to change it up, just for you, just for you.
Right.
Actually, y'all can see it rolling right now, him being on the show previously.
Yeah, let's give you a little flashback.
Or by accident.
By intentional, if you ask me. Like, I don't. There's no accident to me. There's no way in the world you can say, "Oh, we accidentally didn't let the fathers care." Like what? Nah, no accident.
Yeah, you're running that game
But
on us.
yeah, like what? But it's like there's so
Oh,
many.
we didn't mean to do this.
Yeah.
Don't get political on me.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that. I get tired of the spin.
Yeah.
Come on, y'all. It's been going on for decades.
For
Don't act like it was
decades,
just, this has been going on? I didn't know that. Don't do that.
But I just put a video up on my.
Welcome back.
Yes,
Welcome back.
that's
Hope you had
right.
a
Yeah,
chance
so
to
we gotta talk
recap.
about that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's good.
Yeah, that was off the hook. Y'all need to go back and watch that again. That was a good program, man. We got lots of views off of that one. Amen. Praise the Lord.
Well,
So-
y'all, if y'all don't know what the Boys and Men of God's podcast is all about, let me sum it up. Just a little synopsis, because we're going to dig in a little deep today. I know
Yep.
we got some issues, especially how dealing with the fathers and how they're necessary in our lives,
Amen.
especially, and how we're fighting for the right way and to have the fathers in the homes, most
That's right.
importantly. So, y'all, most importantly, the Boys and Men of God podcast is about us being as men of God and living according to His will. And what us men of God are, we're just showing us our walk and how we was keeping it with Father God locked through it each and every step of the way, because we can't do it without the Father, y'all.
Heck no.
And we keep telling you this each podcast. I'm telling you, y'all,
Yeah.
we can't do it without God's love. I'm telling you, no matter what, young or old.
That's
we
right.
can't do it without Him. So we here to just keep feeding that word to you, because we gotta keep receiving the word of God. We gotta keep renewing our mind in His word.
That's right.
And this is just to help educate y'all to just keep moving forward.
That's
And
right.
even if y'all unbelievers, just to receive Him into your life. You know, that's what it's all about. So hopefully y'all get a little nugget about that. How about you, Bishop? What do you have to say about
Man,
that?
I cannot agree more with you, Pastor
telling you.
because I can tell you right now, from reading the Word of God and living this life, I'm 52 years old, and I can tell you all without a shadow of a doubt that what God's Word has to say about it is absolutely true.
Right?
I've been there trying to do it His way,
Right.
my own way, trying to follow my own course. failure, booyah.
Oh my God.
Don't work.
They
And,
don't.
I looked at the Garden of Eden and how Adam and Eve, you know, they decided, I don't believe what he said. I think we can do it this way. Boom.
Boom.
What happened? Got kicked out the garden. Had to struggle. Had to do stuff on their own.
Right.
It's a lot easier to do it with someone that knows. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you decide that you want to go see the professionals that know. God is the professional over life. He knows everything about how we should get stuff down. Why are we rejecting him? He's only trying to help us. So I know, just like Satan told Adam and Eve to reject God, this is why. Satan wants to see us suffer.
Yeah.
You know why? Because Satan's suffering. He got kicked out of heaven. He lost everything. You ever notice how folks that you might meet along the way, misery likes company? Yeah, Satan wants the rest of everybody else miserable. He wants the whole humanity suffering. Because why? He's jealous of us. We're created in God's own image. We're the apple of his eye. God cares so much about us. So as a result, Satan like, I'm gonna mess that up. I lost my relationship with him, so you gonna lose it too. And we know people that do that mess.
All the time.
You got something good going on, here they come.
Listen, some of them what they call them the wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yep.
They up there right along with us, acting like they down. And
Yep.
You don't move like that if you down.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So that's why we started this podcast, especially to kick some of the women in the teeth. That kept saying lies during 2020. Ain't no man around. No man care about his children. Ain't no man doing right by his family. Ain't no man raising his kids. And I'm like, where y'all been? Y'all must be a small group of that you run in circles with, because there's lots of men out there doing right by their kids, raising their kids and everything. So I mean, y'all need to stop with that.
Come on.
And we have consistently showed you on this broadcast, y'all can go back through all of them going back to 2020. Men in a home, raising their kids, men taking time to help their families, men being good husbands to their wives, all of that. So I'm like, how many more broadcasts do we got to do to refute that lie? But y'all still believing it. I'm still going on social media, still seeing y'all saying this stuff.
But you know, it's crazy because some of the people that are most active in that negative world of believing that no man or no father, they don't realize how they were raised and what they contribute to the negativity in the relationship. And that's one of those things where, you know, I had to learn it too, looking at some people like, you know, why is this person responding to certain situations like this? And that's how that person was raised, whether it's being spoiled by a parent. You know, some parents aren't raising their kids, they're growing up with their kids. And their kids are growing up to be adults and having children. And they're acting like their mother was or their parents were when they grew up, which is somewhat childish. They respond to things in a childish manner. They don't respond to things like an adult or in a responsible manner. So, and they blame the world. It's never me. It's never me. Like,
that's right.
It's not what I said to you. It's how what you said to me makes me feel. So I slap you in the face. You know, the woman slaps the man in the face, and the man says, "I'm leaving." Oh, he just left because he never cared.
Wow.
He never. He left because his eyeball hurt. You know,
the key factor. Look, this is the evidence of fact. He just left. Why you acting like he ain't never been there with that type of statement?
Yeah, exactly.
He been there putting up with all that stuff.
And it's like, you know, when stuff like that, because that real, you know, there are real stories like that. You know, women have abused men, and men leave, and women will say when he was soft, he wasn't, he ain't strong enough to handle a woman like
Come
me.
on, my guys are killing me with that.
I'm strong enough to know that I don't need to be in this situation.
Sure.
That's what I'm strong enough to know. And, you know, that same woman on Facebook, ain't no man out there that can handle me. I'm a real woman. I'm this and that.
Yeah, but like,
real women don't put their hands on their men.
Exactly. I would say,
and real men
you
don't
know
put
what?
their hands on their
You're
women.
right. For the sake of life and peace, and make sure you live an abundant life, I'm out.
But it gets twisted around too. Like, oh, he just left. He never cared. He never loved me. He said he loved me, but he left. Why he leave you, babe? He left because I just got a little mad one day. I just pushed him down the hall. You know, I just kicked him in the back. It wasn't nothing serious.
Oh my gosh, for real, that corruption is crazy.
It's crazy, man.
Yup.
It's different out there. It's different.
Most definitely. But like we were sharing earlier, y'all, we were talking about, you know, a lot of times these relationships are driven solely solely by emotional thinking. Emotional thinking means that how I'm feeling. Now, your feelings change like the weather.
Yeah.
You know, you might feel one way this way and feel another way another way. So if we allow ourselves to be led by our emotions, led by means I'm making all my decisions based on my emotions, then I'm going to be unstable. I'm going to be up, down, backwards, forward all the time. You can't build a relationship like that. Now, if the two come together the way God designed it, then somebody got to be a balancing act to this. Somebody got to stand strong. So that's why he created man and women different. So that when we come together, like for instance, I always share with my wife, I said, you know how God designed y'all with the emotional piece was for the purpose of being able to discern trouble. When trouble was happening, to tell their husbands, to tell those leaders in the community, hey, look, I think something not right over there. This is going wrong. That is an insight that sometimes comes solely to women. All right, and so he's placed that gift in you so that it can complement us working together.
Right.
Okay, for the common goal to see everybody blessed and prospering and moving forward and doing well. You know, but when you take that and use it for a manipulation tool and use it as a knife and a dagger, it defeats the purpose. He didn't give that to you for that purpose. God didn't do that for that. But the enemy always comes in to twist stuff. So he could tear the family up.
You got to repeat that before this show is over.
Right. So they can get that one.
People need to know that word.
Don't miss it.
Know that word. That's real.
Absolutely. So, but that's the game that gets played by the enemy on the whole family, man, and that's why God keeps trying to educate us and give us the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of how life is, how He designed it for it to be. And when we submit to Him, that's when things get better. That's when we get at peace. That's when, at least if I know what I'm dealing with, I can deal with it. When I don't know what I'm dealing with, that when I be stepping on landmines and everything, assuming
Consistently.
when you gave me that first picture of yourself, this is who I am. Then the mask come off.
You see that a lot now. Like, I mean, everybody knows like social media is like one of the main anti-social worlds. And social media has made everybody anti-social. There's people, I see people that like photos and stuff, and you see them in person, they don't even speak to each other. It's like, you follow me, you like everything I post, you comment, but when you see the person, they don't even speak. And it's like, it's the weirdest thing in the world to me. But social media has it a lot. They have, you put up these beautiful pictures, you get makeup, you use your filters and whatever else you got, and you're smiling, but you're broken inside. And it's like, people don't see more than what you show.
That's right.
And it's like I've always, I'm still to this day kind of confused on that. Like, what makes people feel like I have to project this type of image and lifestyle, knowing that I'm dying inside. You know what I'm saying? I'm broken inside. I'm hurt. I'm lonely. I had a friend of mine that used to do that, put birthday pictures of herself up, nails done, hair done, put a picture up. I'm about to get turned up for my birthday. And then go to sleep. And she would tell me like, I don't really go out. I don't got no friends. I don't trust nobody. Women, I don't trust no dudes. And women are jealous of me because how attractive I am. And all these reasons. But it's like, why would you? What made you feel like you had to put that on social media though, just for the attention of likes? And it's like, are you? You don't want to call it desperate, but it's like when you need attention from social media or from the people on social media that much, what's really going on with you? You need to, a woman I'm seeing now, like she needs to secure followers. When somebody follows her, she has to follow them right back. And it's like, why? To secure the follow. Like, for what?
What's the purpose?
Like, I look at my followers and I like, I got maybe on one of my pages, I got like 2,500 followers and I'm following like 262 people, and 40 of them people are all curly hair women. It was all curly hair women. But the other 220 people were all people who I actually know and talked to or had, conversations with or met in person before. So if I see them, I can say hello, but it just bugged my mind. Like, everybody that follows me, I don't have to follow them for the attention of if I put a post up, I get, you see the videos you put on your Instagram and it shows you how many views you get.
Right.
I put a video up and it'll say, in 3 days, 1,100 views, 9 likes. Like y'all watching me. You ain't gotta like it, but I know you watching me, so that's cool for me. But I don't need the likes.
But
I don't need that.
But like you said, some people are so emotionally tied into that it kills them if they don't get enough likes.
It's true too.
They start getting depressed. They start feeling down about themselves. This is how the enemy twists that whole thing.
He
using technology to bring you down. Oh man, I remember hearing some of these influencers saying, "Man, if I don't get enough views and enough this, I start thinking about myself and what am I doing wrong?" It just might have been the day that people were looking at other things, distracted with the news of the world today. They didn't have time to look at that. Dealing with their kids, dealing with But no, you're gonna take it personally that they're rejecting you.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
But it all goes back to me is to like, how are we? How not even how are we doing now, but how were we raised growing up? Like, I say it all the time. I think a lot of my colleagues, the people that I grew up that are my age, I think a lot of us had children before we were ready to be parents.
Okay.
And it's showing in our children now.
Right.
I went to my son's basketball game, for example, and my son's team. They did pretty well. They lost the last game. And, my son came over there. He gave me a big hug. And I said, I'm so proud of you, man. You did your best you could. He made 2 3-pointers in the game.
All right.
And he was happy. And we were crying because we were so happy. Like, I'm like, this is my moment with my son. Like, you lost, but you tried. You did good. And he's like, thank you, Dad.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like,
The encouragement.
Yeah.
all the other kids, man, F this, man. I don't care. Yo, you call foul on me, not on him, yo. And it's like, the whole team, it's like 11 kids, the whole team, out crying, fighting. One kid threw a water bottle. He got so mad, he threw a water bottle and hit the people that was keeping the score.
That's future of sports.
So the coach, one of the workers told him like, yo, you're disqualified for the rest of the game. You can't be throwing water bottles. And the mom goes over there, my son ain't disqualified. Hit it. I said, so I went over there to the coach, said, look, I'm really glad the way you handled that, because obviously somebody has to teach him, because it's a water bottle now. He's 10 years old. So when he turned 18, it's not going to be a water bottle when he get mad. It's not going to be a water bottle. Now, it's the closest thing to me is a water bottle. I'm throw it. When he's 18 and somebody tell him, you lost, it might not be a water bottle. Ooh. So I'm glad. And
it might be a car.
Yeah.
And I'm running down
might be a
after
car,
you retire.
It might be a baseball bat.
With the bike.
Yeah. The referee might walk outside with graffiti on his car. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a water bottle now. But in my mind, like, I'm looking at all of these other parents there, and I'm like, nobody gonna say nothing. Like, when I was growing, that's why I said, when I was growing up,
other men
let me throw a water bottle at somebody, and my cousins be there, my uncles be there, my neighbors be there. Boy, what's wrong with you?
I'm guilty of charge because I've done that out in the public. Some of the boys cutting up and stuff. I say, hey, listen to your mother.
Yeah, straight up.
I do it. I said, cut that out.
Yeah, because that's how it was for us growing up. We really had a community. What they say, it takes a village. We really had a village in our community. But now it's different, and you almost don't want to get involved because you don't know what them people are actually. Well,
like the example, like you said, when that mother jumped up and said what she said toward the ref.
Yeah.
It's that element, that piece. That
and the schools go through it a lot.
The
schools, like, they want to tell a kid you can't do that, but they tell a kid they can't do that. The parent comes to the school, flip out, and, like, he just threw a rock. It ain't that serious. He just threw a rock. Do you know what a rock can do to a person's eye? Like, it's just threw a... What? But it's like, what were you raised to believe? Like, you were raised to believe that when you do something based on your emotions or your feelings, it's going to be okay.
Come on now.
Right.
Yeah, so whenever somebody tells you, hey, you know what, you did that and that was wrong, but it's going to be okay. And when you get older and you find out that it's not okay, then that's when you show out and show up. I mean, show up and show out. And that impacts these children today, man.
And it impacts the culture, because as long as the culture begins to say, oh, yeah, this is acceptable behavior. Yes, we're going to allow her to cut up like this. We're going to let her.
Yes.
As long as it does that, then we're going to continue to have these problems. I'm going to turn to, this is a good segue into this, because we're talking about the importance of fathers being there,
the
home,
culture.
And being able to
Bishop.
Check this out. Malachi chapter 4 says this, and this is the Old Testament. I'm going to start out for, and then we're going to jump to the New Testament real quick. But it says this, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. Whoa, that means a lot. That means that if the father's heart is not for the children, and the children's heart is not for the father, curses are coming. So we're going to see all this breakdown in society and the culture and the community, all that, because why? We're going against the principles of what God said. this is how the society is to be built and to function. So when you eliminate and remove us from the equation, this is why we see all this stuff going on. And it's not like this is anything new. They've shown with statistical facts. If the father's not here, this is gonna happen. If the father's not here, that's gonna happen. If the father, they all these facts that are written out. Like they go to jail, like they grow up in poverty, like all this stuff. But yet, y'all out there listening to the devil to still, we don't need the father, we don't need him at home, we don't need help. I said, y'all don't learn.
So deep.
And then all the curses come, and y'all wonder why.
But there's a lot of it, and it goes to being raised with accountability. So now, like, the narrative, excuse me, the narrative is, you know, this guy, for example, there's this man out here, he has 4 kids, or 5 kids by 5 women. And it's like, the narrative is, well, he out here making all these babies. There's no accountability on the women giving them all these babies.
Right.
You know, he had 4 kids by 4 women that he's not taking care of as it is, and you went and let him go inside of you. Now you got a child, and he a deadbeat dad. And I say, you know, he might be a deadbeat dad. I ain't gonna take that away. He might be.
But there are deadbeat mothers.
There are deadbeat mothers. That's a fact too. But if you know this about him, and you see this about him, and you see how he's not taking care of his other children, how he's not in love with these other women, you put yourself in that same situation. But it's easy for people to do that, for women to do that, because there's no accountability level there. It's always, well, he's a bad guy running around here doing this. You contributed to that too.
Yeah.
You know, you can't say that he out here making babies when he out here making babies with you. That's just my opinion.
That's right. But what you're talking about is facts. You see, all that logic and facts. We're talking about the emotional culture of society. You know, so it's like, don't believe your lying eyes.
There you go.
That's their number one thing that they spew out into social media, the news, everything these days. It's like, don't believe your lying eyes. No, like, for instance, I gave this example. I say, like, the person gets in the car, crashes into your house, and then they want to flip the script. It wasn't my fault that your house hit my car. What? My house hit your car. Yes, that's what happened.
Yeah,
your house shouldn't have been in the way. Your house was in the way.
Yeah, that me and my brother were talking about that the other day about the victim syndrome. You know, and I respect Chris Rock. You know, when Chris Rock, I went to see Chris Rock stand up, and it's on like Netflix or something now too.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, but he said in one of his statements, they said the people said, you know, when Will Smith went up there, and I respect both, I love them both. When Will Smith went up there and slapped him in the face, he said, everybody's asking me why you didn't hit Will Smith back. Why, if he would have did that to me, I would have duffed up. And he said for 2 reasons. One reason is because I'm not a victim. He hit me. I've been hit before. I'm not a victim. I don't need domestic violence. I don't need anti-man. I don't need I'm not a victim. And he said the second reason is I was raised. I grew up with parents who taught me better. They raised me. They told me not to do this. And then he made a joke out of it and said, I was raised by, my mom said, don't fight black people in front of white people. But the message behind it was, listen, I didn't respond with the response that y'all would have loved to see.
Savage behavior didn't.
Because I was raised right.
Savage.
And you know, when we talk about the word of God, it's like the average person who doesn't have that in their heart, doesn't have that spiritual, you know, recognition in their heart, they would have probably punched Will Smith back in the face. It would have been an all-out brawl on that stage.
Right.
Yep.
But the people who know, they know, and they understand what he did and why he did it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But check it out. He's applying a principle. It's written in Galatians chapter 5, verse 22, the fruits of God's Spirit. When we apply the things that God put in the order, it does work. He tapped into the spirit of temperance. That's power under control. Ninja, I could have snapped your neck after that, but
and the same thing in relationships. Like when you're dealing with a person, if the person is physical, especially when it becomes, you know, an altercation situation where 2 people are physical, somebody needs to go.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you know, when a woman gets physical and the man is controlling himself, you know, it's like, in some people's eyes, the man is weak, you know. But in the average person's eyes, the man is weak. You know, that woman hitting him, and he just ran away, and it's not. But it shows your patience. It shows your strength.
That's
you know?
right.
It shows your tolerance level, it shows a lot because you're not responding the same way that person's responding to you.
Right.
And that there's a different level of respect for people like that.
Absolutely.
You know,
You know,
different.
they like to call these terms alpha and beta, you know, men and stuff out there. They come up with just trying to, you know, always trying to identify, put something in the box.
Yeah, there's always,
know,
I like that. Yeah. There's always a way, there's always a way to divide. There's always a way to divide.
You know, but,
Exactly.
but what they
You're on
are
point,
seeing
yo.
that there's so many of us that are varying
Yep.
degrees, and it's based on our knowledge and understanding and experiences.
Exactly.
You know, at the end of the day, they're all men. You know, but what the world tries to get us identified with is all those type of labels. But I can tell you this much. You know, I've over the years, I have never, from any of our members of our congregation or people that we associate or fellowship with, had open disrespect thrown at me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about open disrespect, you know, get up in my face and one of our members told me years back that, you know, there's something about you that I wouldn't want to test that. And I said, yeah, because you, and then they say that, and another one complimented and told me, she's like, oh, I never seen you upset. I don't want to see you upset. Something about you. I was like, yeah, because it's how I conduct myself and carry myself. I don't act like somebody that's emotionally out of control, ready to get caught up in a whole bunch of foolishness with you. And when you wilding out, I'm the calm voice telling you, all right, let's talk about this.
Yeah. Hey, pretty much.
You
And that's
finished?
necessary. People used to always tell me too, like, I never see you upset. And I say, when I get upset, y'all never see me. That's fine.
Yep.
I get upset though. I get
That's
upset,
right.
but I also know where to go when I get upset. You know, when I get upset, I call my grandmother, call my Uncle Troy. He'll say prayers for me. I call my brother. Like, I know how to control my temper. And I tell people all the time, like, don't think I don't get mad.
Yep.
Don't think I don't get upset. The thoughts that I may have when I get mad will never come true. You know, because my level of patience and understanding for myself is beyond it. But it would never, things that I think when I'm upset will never come true. You know, but I do get upset.
We had 2 decades of women rewriting how men should respond to circumstances from a woman's perspective. They're telling us, well, if you got these emotions, you got to share them all, you got to shed them all. And one of our go-to emotions that we have no problem in sharing is getting angry. We had no problem with that one. The rest of them I have issue with, but that one, that's our go-to.
You know?
But when you're encouraging them to be led by that, I said that's a Pandora's box that you don't want to mess with because it causes them to be, like, good example would be Jeffrey Dahmer. Or if you don't have that thing in check, if you ain't got that under control, then if you're led by that, like he said, it was passionate for him to kill somebody and do all that kind of stuff. That's what he was saying out of his mouth. And that's because passion is an emotion. So I said, you don't want us emotionally led. You want us to rely on how God created us to be logical. And then think the thing
And that's
through.
powerful.
Yeah.
Too. You know, it's also interesting to see, like, a lot of people say that, you know, men don't show their emotions enough. So when we're young and we're kids, like our grandmothers and our aunts, like, you know, it's just okay to cry. It's okay to show your emotion. It's like, okay, cool. And it's like, it's okay to do things that are considered what women do. Women cry when they're upset. They respond different ways when they're upset. And then, you know, I read all of these blogs with all of these men who have lost custody of their children because the mother decided to up and move, or the mother was upset, or the mother put false allegations on them. And then it's like, I tell men now, like some of the fathers that I talk to in the organizations that I work with, I tell people, like, when I get on social media, I say, yo, this judge is a complete a-hole or a complete idiot. And they say, you know, you sound angry. I said, when I was 12, my mom said, if something bothers me, I can cry. I'm allowed to express myself. So when they take your kids away, that's not a time. And this is what the narrative I'm pushing. When they take your kids away, that's not the time to not cry. That's not the time to hold it in. You took my kids away, and they say, Andre, you sound angry. No, I'm not. I'm not angry. I'm pissed off.
Right.
I almost lost custody of my children simply because a person decided to move without even letting me know that they were moving.
Yep.
I'm far from angry.
Yep.
I want the judge to know. I want the support magistrate to know. I want the attorneys to know. No. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm pissed off.
But they encourage us to be like that. But guess what happens? The minute you act on them,
Yeah, so that's different.
now they want to come
Yeah.
and put you in handcuffs. Now they're afraid you're going to do something. I'm like, but you told us to shed those emotions and share them.
Exactly.
But when we tap into it and begin to share it, now y'all getting worried. Uh-oh.
Yeah, oh, he
He's
crazy.
crying, he's
Yeah,
mad, he's upset. Oh, arrest him.
Yeah, right. And that, but again, like, it's like, again, like, we're humans, so we're allowed to have emotions, but we don't move with those emotions. We
Correct.
feel with those emotions. And once you know the difference of logical thinking and
That's right.
emotional thinking, logical thinking is usually what you act upon. It's like, okay, the logical decision would be to go in this courtroom, professional, with my suit and tie on, a smile on my face, and talk respectfully. The
Without a
emotional side of me,
Without a
is like-
hoodie?
Without a hoodie, right. The emotional side of me is say going in here and throw chairs at everybody in here who tell me I can't see my daughter or my
Yup.
son. But the logical decision is the one that we make. However, at the same time, when especially some of these women bloggers, they're like, these men are crazy, and it's like, imagine somebody taking your child away.
That's right.
I don't know if crazy is the right word to use. I think the person understands that he has a deep love for his child.
Right.
And you're taking that child away from him. So if you call me crazy in that situation, please continue to call me.
Praise the Lord, everybody. I just want to let y'all know that the Faithful Praise album is currently out now, y'all. I'm telling you, there's a craving for real gospel music, especially preaching out of the Word of God. And this is definitely what In the Faith Christian Fellowship Ministries and the album is definitely all about. Speaking the Word of God to y'all out there so y'all can be encouraged and blessed by it. So I'm definitely the producer of the album. My name is Jethro Banks. And I just hopefully y'all get a chance to check it out. It's out on all the platforms, YouTube, Spotify. I'm telling you, you can even put it up on your post on Facebook. It's out everywhere, I'm telling you, y'all. So feel free to y'all check it out, be blessed. Feel free to leave a comment if y'all see this video saying that y'all blessed by it. So y'all definitely enjoy the rest of your day and be blessed.
I want everybody on this earth to say, Andre Rainey was a great person. He was nice, never angry, always happy. But when you took his kids away, you went off the he went way left. Like, what happened? I want that narrative. I want you to know that when it comes to my kids, yes, I'm beyond crazy. I will do anything for my kids. And fathers out there, I'm not condoning any type of violence now. Don't get it twisted. But I am saying, fight for your kids. Fight for your children. They, these children are growing up, and that word you just shared hit hard. A lot of fathers go through the system, and they kind of, they give up. I'll never forget. I'm still going back and forth with my daughter's law guardian to this day, even though we've been out of court for 2 years. But it's like, even though we're out of court and we got the equal custody, it's not over for me. It's never gonna be over for me. And that's the kind of person I am. Unfortunately, once you go to war, the war's over, but the war is gonna be restarted.
Right.
We're not going until you lose your job. We're not ending it. But when our court hearing was over, I had asked her, was she giving my daughter's mother legal advice, because you're not legally allowed to give her advice. And her response in the email was, I'm not giving her legal advice because I'm not supposed to. I'm not going to fit your narrative. And I was like, what is my narrative?
Wow.
What is my narrative?
If that's the case, yeah, please tell me.
But she's representing my daughter, telling me in an email that she's not going to fit my narrative. What is my narrative? To this day, I still haven't got a response in the email of what my narrative is to her. But what happens is, you're representing my daughter. Now you have a biased opinion on me.
Well,
for whatever my narrative
she's telegraphing exactly what she's saying.
Yeah.
She's against father-child relationship.
Right. So to this day, but the thing that bugged me out the most was, like, I reported her, and we're going through a process of a possible investigation. Now, even though it's, like I said, it's 2 years ago, but for me, it doesn't end. So there's a possible investigation on her now. And it's like, I just want to know how she was able to say that, she's not going to fit my narrative, but represent my daughter without a biased opinion towards me.
No way.
So, and one of the things they did, it's funny, man.
Means she's interjecting what she wants.
Yes. And one of the things they did in the courtroom, and it's like, I got the transcripts and everything. Like, this stuff is crazy. So one of the things they did in the courtroom was, they said after 82 violations on behalf of the mother, the law guardian said she wants me to say one nice thing about my daughter's mother. And she wants my daughter's mother to say one nice thing about me. So they said, Mr. Rainey, can you say one nice thing about your daughter's mother? I said, yeah. I said, he does our daughter's hair better, way better than me. I said, when our daughter goes to school, the teachers be like, her hair looks all right today. Mommy did it. I'd be like, yeah. When I bring it to school, like, you did her hair today, did you? Yeah, I did. And they said, Mommy, say one nice thing about Mr. Rainey. And she says, you know, one thing I can say is he fights to keep his kids together. He always wants his kids together. On the court order that they presented, that they completed, that the final court order, they said that they felt they were concerned about the father's communication with the mother because the father couldn't articulate one positive thing about the mother.
Oh.
Wow.
So I was like,
Wow.
did somebody shoot? Like, what? Like, was I unconscious? Like, did I dream that I said that? Like, was that a dream that I said that? Like, what? So when I read it, so I immediately filed for the transcripts because if you're gonna use this against me and say that I couldn't articulate one positive thing, I want to make sure I wasn't dreaming when I said that because I can't think of the last. I can't think of one time in my life I've ever dreamed about me being in court. So I know I was there.
So the court is so biased against the father that they just use all these standards in general and label you as such that you're not going to say anything. Wow. So it's just automatically. I'm sure if you go through case after case after case after case after case, this is the language that's in there.
Template, yes. And I'm sure, and like I told my attorney at the time, like that to me, and this is before the court order even was completed, I said that felt like a setup because they know that she's violated this court order over 80 times in seven court orders in 4 years. Violation of court order means you prevent the other person from seeing the child during the other person's time. So
that's right.
Thanksgiving.
I even shared some videos where the child wasn't allowed. He wasn't allowed to spend no time with his child, even though it's court order. The court told her. You got to let him see his kid.
And when that happens, the average man. That's why I said 82 times it happened to me, and I never broke a car window. I never threw a rock at her. I never shot her. I never beat her up. Like I just took it. You know, the emotional side was over here, but the logical side said, "Don't do that. Come on, you're better than that as a person."
Right.
So,
but they can come do that to us.
Oh my God,
tear up.
But we'll get on that next. But I let it happen to me. You know, and to know that this person has violated my rights to my daughter 80 times in less than 4 years, and you're gonna dictate where my daughter should be by asking me if I can say something positive about the person that you've allowed to destroy me for the last 4 years.
Wow.
And I'm still able to do it.
Busted up. What?
And I'm still able to do it. And so I say that to say, like, to the fathers out there, we have a different level of strength that is being turned against us as if it's not a good thing. Women couldn't go through that.
No.
There are some women that have to deal with certain circumstances close to this, but I can't. I mean, I haven't read enough yet. Maybe I may be missing it, but I haven't read any stories about any women going through 82 violations of not seeing their children, being physically abused.
Come on now.
And still being normal, like nothing's wrong.
Right.
There are some women out there that are going through some challenges though, because of men with a little bit more money, they're getting better attorneys, and they're flipping the script on it. So I definitely know that there's women going through similar issues, but for the majority, it's mostly men going through these issues. And I'm telling these men, don't let them change the narrative. Like your strength is a blessing.
That's right.
You know, you're
you're going back to the lie about them saying that part of you is toxic. I guess it would be toxic on their side of the fence because they don't want that. That's toxic masculinity, what you're talking about right there. Because we don't like it. We don't want that. We don't want you to dispel the lie that you love your kid.
Exactly. But that's why
I can't receive that.
They told me, one of the attorneys I work with said, like, the attorneys up there are starting to say that, they think that you're a little rude, so just keep your tone down. I said, no. Let them think that. I only go to family court for one thing, family.
Right.
Let them think I'm rude. I'm not going to criminal court. I ain't going to drug court. I ain't going to domestic violence. I'm going to family court.
Right.
Rude is please. Call me crazy. Call me rude. Call me everything in the book. I'm trying to protect my family.
That's right.
There's no limits.
That's right. And actually the laws that have been put there, and we're gonna do a roll in a video that he wants to share. But the laws that are there is totally different to what's adjudicated in the court.
Oh gosh.
You know, so I always look at the laws that are written, kind of like this Bible here. Those are the laws and principles that are written for things to function and how it should operate and be applied. But then we get into the courtroom, and a lot of times it's based on emotions. Well, our interpretation of what we feel should or should not apply.
Right.
Well, no, the law states that. I don't care what it says. Someone will tell you that. I don't care what you think it say. I'm telling you what it said. So that emotional piece comes into the courtroom, and it overrides whatever the law says.
Right.
And this is why God said, be you not conformed to this world, but be you transformed by the renewing your mind. Because why? If we're conformed to the courtroom's ethics and theatrics and stuff that go against what the law says, then guess what? We're conforming ourselves. And he's in what you're saying, Andre, is that you're refusing to be conformed to something that goes against what's written.
Exactly. There you go. And that's powerful too, because like, you know, the judges are protected by, you know, judicial immunity. So you walk in a courtroom, a judge has, first of all, they give 17 people the same court time.
Yeah.
You know, come to court 9:30.
Yeah.
19
All piled
people,
up in there.
19 people coming to court at 9:30. So you get there at 9:30 and you get in the courtroom and the judge is overwhelmed with work. So they have to expedite this process. So you're paying your attorney $3,000 for whatever. The judge says, okay, I need more time to review her evidence and his evidence, and we submitted the court work. I've submitted so much paperwork to the judge, and they're just so overwhelmed they can't read it. So you're making a decision for the children's lives within 3 hearings, within 3 court hearings. There's no jury of peers. There's no written explanation on what evidence the judge used to make this decision. They're protected by this. That's the best interest of the child. No evidence to show where that best interest makes sense. So the judge never has to say, well, you know, the mother shared this and the father shared that. So I made my determination based. The judge doesn't have to give any written statement.
That's right.
There's never going to be, at least I shouldn't say never because we're trying to push that now. But there's no accountability on judge. And like I said, in the court order, they said the judge wrote that the law guardian was concerned about my communication with the mother because I couldn't articulate one positive thing. When the transcripts literally have show the opposite. And I asked the lady who's getting the transcripts, I said, get the audio ones too. I don't just want the type that I want them to hear my tone. Because it wasn't like I was in there, she could do her hair, I guess, like she's stupid with it. Like, no, it was like, well, she can do her hair better than me, and people laugh when I bring her to school with her hair done because they could tell that I did it. Like, there was no animosity in my tone or anything, but I can't wait to expose it.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
that's my goal. And again,
no
crazy,
required.
call me crazy. Call me crazy. Not just county court. Call me crazy. I want y'all to call me crazy.
But isn't that, see what I'm saying? So now they're eliciting another emotional response because the craziness is based on psychological response of behavior, which is tied to emotion. So they're throwing that out to you again. So the more you stay logical and stay on point of facts, the more they try to deviate from that, because in order for them to justify what they're doing, it has to be emotionally based. They can't stick to the law. Because they stick to the law, then they have to turn the kids over to you.
There you go. Right. and that's why, like, they did it to Tyrese. They did it to Kanye West. They almost did it to what was the actor's name? When his wife was saying she had recorded audio of her flipping on him.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I forget which one that is. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't think of his name right now. DiCaprio, was it
it's
DiCaprio?
So sad. It's so sad. There's so many of them. There shouldn't be so many of them.
It shouldn't. But you know, the funny thing about it is, like, they when they get in these situations, they just turn it around.
Yep.
And it's like, you know, if I was to do half of what she did, you know, if I was to, my daughter was born in November, if I was to walk out the hospital 2 days after she was born with her and then move to another county and not tell her where I moved to for 3 months, she finally finds out where I moved, comes to my house. The cops say they can't take my daughter from me without her having a court order. She goes to court, files a petition for custody. They give her a date 2 months away. So now 5 months go by and she hasn't seen her daughter since she left the hospital. Now, if we were to go into court and I told the judge I didn't let the mother see our daughter because I was trying to bond with my daughter, would the judge have said, okay, Mr. Rainey, that's not right, but we're going to give you primary custody and we're going to make mom a Wednesday night visitor.
Wow.
Would the judge have done that?
No, of course not.
But that's what happened to me.
Right.
So when I filed a complaint to New York,
I mean, just like Tupac said, we even got crackhead mamas that they will give full custody of children to.
yeah. When I filed to the United Supreme,
Even though CPS like, some of these emotional judges, no, I understand what she's going through.
Yeah,
My mom
yeah.
was a crackhead
And so,
mama
yeah,
too,
yeah.
but she loved us, she cared for us, even though she left us at home by ourselves and went out in the streets and blah, blah, blah.
When they-
and,
yep.
and even though she brought that crazy ninja back to the house.
yeah, exactly. When
But
they,
no,
when
I
they-
know how it feels not to be with your mother, so I'm gonna give him back to the crackhead mother. That's emotions. That's nothing to do with
Exactly.
logic and the laws.
and again, there's no accountability because one of the bills that we're trying to pass include having family court judges draft a statement of what evidence they use to come up with a decision. It doesn't mean that that they're going to be penalized or, but we just want to know where you came up with this decision based on all of this evidence I gave you. I've shown you her police reports as a mother. She got 50 incident reports in Peekskill Police Station.
Right.
I had an order of protection against her.
Right.
She left the county without even telling me where she lives. So that means that something is wrong up here. If you think that you can just take a child away from a father who's a good father, something is wrong up here to me. You have she violated the court orders, 7 court orders, 80 times. Something is not right with her emotionally.
I cite the judge a child abuser.
Well, in certain states, they're trying to pass that
if
as
you're
a law
gonna
now.
place the child
In those
into
hands.
that type of circumstance and environment, you're abusing the child too. You're a co-conspirator to destroying that child's life.
Exactly. And what they did was they said, well, we didn't find this to be biased because you're black or biased because you're a man. We didn't really find it to be biased. The judge said it was in the best interest of the child. So let me tell you, last thing I'm gonna tell you, then I'm
That
gonna talk about me. Yeah.
That part right there.
Yeah, so my daughter was in daycare in Peekskill. From the day she was born to August of this year. She's been daycare. Every daycare she's been to has been in Peekskill. Her preschool was in Peekskill. She went to Riot Hill. Yeah, so
Building her roots there.
the mother, watch this. The mother lives in Beacon. So, but mom works in Peekskill. So they wouldn't give me primary custody. They gave me equal custody, but they wouldn't give me primary custody for whatever reason. So mom would drive from Beacon to Peekskill every morning and drop our daughter off at daycare and in school when she got in school. No problem. Now they're saying, the baby should go to school where mom resides. She's been going to school where dad resides for the first 4 years of her life. Now she should go to school where mom resides. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So now we got to take her out of this school district.
Destabilize.
Okay, but now we don't think daddy should be driving all the way from Peekskill to Beacon with his daughter while she's in school. That's too far.
Too far.
What we doing? What we doing?
This is literally what I'm going back to court for now. They're saying that driving my daughter to school from Peekskill to Beacon is too far of a drive for her to have to deal with every morning. But when mom was driving, but when mom was driving from Peekskill,
It was okay.
from Beacon to
I see the double standard.
Peekskill, it was okay.
It's a double standard.
Yeah, it's a double
Again.
So I'm like, so what's the and they're saying, well, Peekskill from Beacon's an hour drive. I
Well,
said,
who said that?
The court order. The Judge McKenzie from Dutchess County Family Court says that driving from Peekskill to Beacon is too far, but from Beacon to Peekskill is okay.
I'm able to get there in 27 minutes. Our public school system up here.
What
kids that are
map on
alternate-
this earth? But that's what I said in my thing to the New York State Supreme to the Attorney General. I don't know, maybe, but the thing is, they gave me weekends now, so I have like 4 weekends. So my daughter stays with me, so I'm allowed to take her to school on Monday. So I said to the Attorney General, maybe on Monday mornings, Peekskill moves closer to Beacon geographically. I can take her to school every Monday. I have her on the weekend, but I can't take her to school on Thursday because it's too far of a drive. For the last 4 years of her life,
She's been
daycare
doing that.
and preschool,
Daily.
she's been driven from
Daily.
Beacon to Peekskill. And it's been, it's only 30, 24 minutes, 30. When it's daddy's turn to drive her, now it's all of a sudden too far.
Right? Oh.
Double standards again.
Yeah.
So again, that's not based on facts or law. It's
No.
based on what I feel.
Oh, wow, that
But
passes.
again, child's best interest. We think it's the child's best interest to not have to ride
We
to
think.
school
Or is it that
for
I
1
think?
hour.
Is it we
Peekskill to
think or
Beacon.
I think?
And that's the thing. It's never is that's the thing. But again, this is why we continue, and I continue to encourage fathers.
Yes.
Like don't give up, because what happens is the fathers of us, our fathers, you know, they went through this stuff and just said, I'm not dealing with it.
Yep.
So now we got to go through it. So we got to fight.
Yep.
So our kids don't have to deal with this.
That's
you know,
right.
and it's like, you know, a lot of fathers, you know, that I've met that are older than me are like, you know, I appreciate what you're doing, man. I wish I had the energy, but I had to pay child support for 18 years, and I only got to see my daughter, you know, Wednesday nights for dinner and every couple of holidays and this and that. And I live 2 blocks away from her, you know, but the mom they just didn't want to fight the system.
Nope.
You know, and I don't blame him. After what I went through, I don't blame him. But I'm a different type of human. Like I'm.
But remember I said earlier.
I've taken my children's mother to court more than.
well, I was trying to say, dealing with the courts have allowed our local school system that if the child is misbehaving, to go to an alternative school. Some of the alternative schools are up this way. Some of them are all the way down to Fox Meadow down there in Mount Kisco area.
Yeah.
But they bust them daily to go all the way down there. That is 45 minutes, 50 minutes.
Riding
And
on
a-
a bus, even in the city of Peekskill, like from the first stop to the school is about 17 minutes. Going to pre-K, it's about 16 to 17 minute ride. 16 to 17 minutes riding on the bus is okay, but 23 minutes riding with your father's not.
Right. What do young people say these days? Make it make sense.
Wait. It's not okay unless it's Monday.
Right. Right.
Then it's okay. Like, you can drive her to school on Monday,
Right.
but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is just too much for her to. It's just too much. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That bonding time on the way to school,
Yep.
that 24 minutes of bonding with my daughter is not okay. But that 24-minute ride from Beacon to Peekskill with mom in preschool, not just daycare, preschool, is okay. It's just different.
Yes.
It's different.
And again, none of that's legally written into any law. This is all interpretation of law and application of what I think.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. So that's the thing that has to change. So how's the organization and initiatives moving on some of these changes?
Good.
How things have been going on?
So it's been difficult, and you know, I'm glad I got this platform. You know, because I've been shying away from some of the others to mention this, but I feel like I can here. I was disappointed.
Yeah.
You know, we had a bill in the Senate, had a bill in the Assembly, and I guess the best way to word this without translating my words into an attack is the people who I submitted the information to didn't bite it as fast as other people did. And the other people that loved the bill were excited.
Yep.
And they said, I'll be happy to sponsor this bill. And in both houses. And they sponsored the bill. And the people who I thought would jump on wouldn't jump on because it was sponsored by a Republican.
Uh-huh.
And
Bum, bum, bum.
I could tell you
Wow.
it broke my heart. You know, I think I understand politics when you're running a campaign.
Sure.
You know, it's like I gotta claim I'm a Republican, or I gotta claim I'm a Democrat,
Right.
because that's who supports. But when you get in the office now, you've already proven yourself to the voters.
Yeah.
Now you make the decisions for the people.
For the people, the constituents, that you're their support, regardless of whether they voted for you.
If you disagree with the bill, then you can say disagree with the bill, but don't ever say that you're not going to support it because a Republican sponsored it or because a Democrat sponsored it.
Sure.
And you know, even the people I tell about, like, come on, you are a mayor, you know politics. I know politics, but I don't know that. Even when I was on the council, they would label me as a swing voter because it was like one day he's a Republican, one day he's a Democrat. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not one
on
or
the
the
side
other.
of the
One day
people.
I just know that this makes more sense to
You're on
me.
the side of the people.
That makes more sense. You have to have a Democratic ideology. You have to have Republican ideology.
trying to lock you in.
You can't. Yeah, and it's like, you know, we're divided continuously in politics now to a point where our children are welcome to suffer. Our families are
Come on
welcome
now.
to be dysfunctional
Come on.
because of who I represent politically. And to me, that's never going to make sense. I want everybody to say that Andre Rainey has gone crazy due to Dutchess County Family Court. I want everybody to say that. Like, I want everybody to feel and think that he was a really nice guy until he went to Dutchess County Family Court. Now he's crazy. If you don't think I'm crazy, I'm going to feel upset.
Right.
I want people to think I'm crazy. But to tell me that I can't support this bill because a Republican sponsored it, even though this bill is going to make a better life for children,
That's right.
is
Which is the
disrespectful to me.
primary. And both parties agree that it's focused around the best thing for the course of the child's interest and the relationship to the father. Both sides believe that. But one side is saying, no, I ain't represented, so I ain't getting the credit, so no.
Yeah, credit, popularity,
I'm like, wow.
party.
So you
whatever it is.
interject yourself into this.
Yeah, and
What am I going to get out of it?
Like I said, everybody I spoke to that I'm like, politically connected to, they all say the same thing. Come on, you know how politics are. It's like, I do know how they are, but I also know that they don't have to be how they are.
Well, based on a party's ideology, a bill like that should be championed before you even had to bring it up.
Yeah. So
You shouldn't even have to bring this up as a bill.
So what happens?
They should already have
I'm
been
glad you
doing
said
this.
that. What happens is you have
Based on the party and what they say they represent.
You have popular issues. This isn't popular issues because what they've done now is like they've turned like fathers' rights groups against like domestic violence groups.
Yes.
So
They always do that mess.
Yeah, domestic violence groups feel like, fathers want rights to their kids to get easier access to abuse the women.
Right.
That's the narrative that they've created, which is what they fight for.
That's a devil.
Fathers' rights groups feel like these domestic violence women are the ones that are being domestically violent.
Right.
So at the end of the day, my goal is to say, hey, listen, as a good father, I don't want any abusive man to have easier access to any woman.
That's right.
Just like I don't want any abusive woman
That's right.
to have access to a man. But what I do want is if a father and a mother go to court and have a no-fault divorce, I don't want them to go into custody court and say, oh, wait a minute, he's gonna get equal custody? Oh, nah, he's crazy. He pulled out a knife on me when I was 9 years old. Like it goes way left after when you start talking about custody.
Right.
And what happens is I respect domestic violence groups for fighting for what they fight for. But in any situation, in anything in the world, some things get oversaturated with the wrong. So what happens is you get women using the system now against the fathers. You get women saying he's abusive. I'm scared he might beat me up. So now that father's taken away from the child for the time of the investigation, which could be 3, 6, 9 months, maybe even a year.
Yep.
By the time the investigation's over, you dismiss it. Now this parent has custody of the child.
Yeah, the enemy is very crafty with our courts because he'll take the sins of the few and cause that to become the standard for all others.
Yeah.
And yes, on both sides we have people that are people. They mess up, they do stuff wrong, they do stuff inappropriate and not right toward their children. But you can't use that as a standard that immediately, if it's the male, well, since I had 18 cases and the males did this, then all of them are that way. Whoa.
Yeah.
You have to take it case by case like you're appointed to. Analyzing all the information and taking that. That's the purpose of the judge in the first place. But like you said, because Satan's up to his mess, causing so much chaos and confusion, he uses a leverage system to force the judge to make all of these prejudgments and prejudices
There you go.
to get through all these cases.
Yeah.
So he's playing every system against itself.
Yeah, and it's working. And like the domestic violence organizations, like when I meet with them, because I met with a few in like the Westchester Dutchess, New York City area, and we walk away on good terms, but I don't think that they always believe it. It's almost like this guy he's 1 in a million. I'm not 1 in a million. I'm far from
what
it.
they're saying.
Man. Yeah, like they always say well, all men aren't like you. Well, all men don't have the time, energy to fight like I do. I make the time, and it's not every man shouldn't have to
But
fight.
right, exactly. So
make
even
the time.
if what they're saying that you are 1 in a million, think about the billions of people on the planet. Let's multiply that out. So the percentage. So you're going to take that.
Yeah, a couple million out there.
You're going to take my minority population and take those laws and apply that against us, and it's not valid.
Yeah.
You can't use it.
Yeah. But
We just
facts.
We just blew up your narrative.
Yeah, yep. And we try to tell them at the end of the day, fathers' rights movements, shared parenting movements, domestic violence movements, we all want the same thing: family court reform and a better living for our children.
Yep.
So when we get past, because the shared parenting movement, our goal is not ever going to be to make it easier for any violent person to have access to the other spouse. We encourage people, if you're being abused, some women say, this guy was abusing me for 9 years. He beat me up for 9 years. And, after we had our daughter, I just couldn't take it no more and I left. It's like, so he beat you up for 9 years. And when you had his child, and that's when you got the courage to leave. Power to you for leaving. But on our side, with the shared parenting people stand, we say, 2 days after being physically abused,
right?
Look for help. So rather than spending your money on domestic violence organizations preventing you from wanting to have a family, how about spend that money on creating resources for these women who are scared to get help?
That's right.
Because instead of saying, well, she finally got the courage to leave after she had her son, how about giving her the courage to leave when she could, before she has a son, before she brings a son into this world that's now not going to have a father because she's hurt and broken and he's abusive. Maybe if she had the resources before she had a child, the family can have a structure again. She can actually find a man or a woman that's going to love her the way she wants to be loved and have that family the way that they want to have it. But now we're just pinning each other. We don't want fathers to have rights to their kids after divorce because they're mostly abusive.
You're speaking facts and truth. You're like, get out of here with that right brain, left brain logic. We don't hear that toxic masculinity.
It's like,
because that stuff will fix the problem. They don't want it fixed. They want chaos.
And they're making millions.
Attorneys, all those court cases, all that money.
Making millions off of our community's
demise. That's right.
And it's terrible. But again, for the domestic violence organizations out there, y'all can reach out to me too. I'm willing to come in person, Zoom,
how they
can meet behind the building and talk, whatever, Coffee's Tea Room, whatever you want to meet and talk and discuss it. But at the end of the day, shared parenting is not about giving access to abusive people. That's criminal. That's not family. That's not even a family court issue. That's criminal. If you're putting your hands on somebody, that's criminal.
That's right.
So the narrative that they're trying to put out there is, you want shared parenting so you can have easy access to beat up these women. No, instead of using your money on preventing women from having families, use that money towards giving them better resources. So when they are scared to call the police because he's abusive, they are scared to put an order of protection on her because of her surroundings, give her some resources to get out of that area. Or whatever he's tapped into that can put her in danger, give her resources to protect herself. But stop saying that as soon as you have a child, that's when it's time for you to get out of there. It's not, to me, and nothing against the women or the men in these dysfunctional relationships, but for me, it's about the child. And now the child's going to grow up without something because the mother didn't have the resources she needed, or because the mother may have been hurt, jealous, angry, whatever the reason is, the child is going to suffer now. And that's what we're trying to prevent.
Come on. That's right. So how would they be able to reach you and find you?
Yes, you could reach me. I'm always in Peekskill, first of all, so you just want to come to the city. Just come to the city. But you can reach me email address Andre ANDRE K Rainey RAINEY @gmail.com. Andre K Rainey @gmail.com. Check out our website sharedparenting.org, or you can check us out. Follow us on Instagram. Fathers Are Important. Email or text me too, 702-466-7437. Now, if you call my phone and hang up 3 times, your number's getting blocked. But you can call me, you can text me, Facebook, Andre K. Rainey, Noodle New, and I'm there. You can Google Andre K. Rainey, Peekskill, some information will come up as well. So, but I'm always open to talking. But next year, 2024, we're going to shoot for more legislation to pass, and we're going to see if we can get a Democrat to sponsor this bill. And I'm willing to meet with all the domestic rights, violence rights groups, all of the father's rights, mother's rights, single parent mother's rights. I'm willing to meet with all of the groups that feel like family court needs to be reformed.
Absolutely.
If this bill doesn't pass next year, or at least get some sort of acknowledgement to editing it, making it for the people.
Sure. It's gonna go through.
Yeah.
We'll
One way or
hope
another,
so.
gonna go
But
through.
if it doesn't, then we're gonna have to start putting people in office.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's right. Well, yeah, and you know what? And you got, and as far as I'm concerned, you got our support here for this. That's why we support you, because we believe in what God's calling you to do. And I want to read this scripture. We're gonna go a little bit over.
Let's do it. That last one hit home.
And let me see here. Make sure. Yeah, so, verse 17 is it. Luke chapter 1, verse 17, and he shall go before him in the spirit and power of Elias. Now, Elijah was one of the prophets, man. He didn't play. I mean, when he challenged the false prophets, keep in mind what I'm saying. The false prophets are those that are coming deceiving the people and doing wicked things against the community and the culture. Okay? So he decided to do facts, because he's like, we're going to exit all this emotional stuff. Y'all trying to get us to worship this false God, do all the kind of emotional stuff. He said, well, we're going to stick to facts. Let's have an outward show up to see which God is real. So he said, I tell you what, y'all like to do sacrifices, make a sacrificial pit. He said, fill it up with wood, and y'all do your dance, do all that stuff that you say you're doing, that your God shows up, and we just want him to just light a fire. I don't care if it's a little spark. There's something to show that your God has power. Wow. Man, they were going on for hours. Someone was cracking jokes. He's like, I think your God's asleep. He ain't waking up yet. Facts, right? Because ain't nothing happening. He's sticking to facts.
Would have texted
ain't nothing happening. He's like, facts, ain't nothing happening. So then he said, okay, my turn.
Here we go.
And then he said, okay, what I want you to do different from them, I want you to take buckets of water and drown all that wood.
Ooh.
Drown it in water.
We're up in the ante now.
And then he said, I know you are the God of Israel. And I want you to prove to them that you are God over this entire planet. Light the wood. Fire came straight out of heaven, burnt up everything.
Wet wood on top of that.
And then as a result of the law, it says in the Hebrew law that if you're a false prophet and you're proven to be a false prophet, you're sentenced to death.
Oof.
So all of what's her name? Jezebel's prophets that she had put in position, they were all executed that same day.
Yep.
So this is the dude we're talking about here. So he said, in the spirit and power of Elias, okay, to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the disobedient to the wisdom of the just, to make ready a people prepared for the Lord. That's what's happening.
That's what's happening.
That's what he called you to do. That's what's happening.
That's crazy.
Big changes are coming down. So if God commissions something to happen, ain't nothing gonna stop it.
Yep.
This is to set people free from the grips of the enemy. That's why he's lifting up this standard. And we keep seeing God doing that throughout the lands. All these standards are being lifted up against nonsense. Even look at the pushback on the cancel culture now. People start pushing back and say, all right, you're going too much. This is going too much. You know? I'm looking at some of these late night talk shows and comedians starting to push back, and they used to be stuck in the box. They can only do jokes about this and that. They're starting to say, the heck with that.
I think
enough's enough.
One of the first to say was Martin Lawrence. He said, if you start preventing comedians from saying what they're saying, you're going to change the world in the wrong way.
That's right.
Because we make people laugh.
That's right.
Based on stuff that
don't mess with the funny.
Yeah.
That's the last thing people holding on to. At least somebody make me laugh. I can make it through. But you take away the funny.
Did you see? Did you see Kevin Hart when he was like, Kevin Hart was talking about cancel culture. He did the show in his basement, and he said that he feels bad because every time he says something about somebody, he made a joke about a guy working at Walmart, and he said Walmart employees were protesting him, and he said, I feel like I can't say anything. He said, only thing I can say, only people I can joke about is people with one arm, because if they protest, they won't protest too long.
Oh my God.
They will be out there holding us out too long. He said, but he said it's getting to a point where anything you say, it can be offensive to somebody, and next thing you know, you have a full grown movement against you.
That's right.
And it's like the sensitive culture is strong. But that's why I respect people like Deion Sanders. Like he's like,
yeah, you saw that, right?
Yeah, he's like, I don't care. Y'all be sensitive all you want. You come over here to play. You're gonna play how I want you to play.
Sure. And then look at recently with Carlos Santana.
Oh.
He's like, I ain't apologize. I ain't taking it back. I said what I said.
He stuck by it.
Enough of that.
He
And
stuck
so
by
it's like
When
I can't say. You can say what you want to say, but I can't say what I want to say. Get you out of here.
He stuck by it too. He stuck by it, and it's like whether you agree with him or not, he's entitled to his opinion,
Right.
and you can't say that you're entitled to your opinion unless your opinion goes against mine.
Right.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. You sound
That's
like
conformity.
doing that. You sound like Dutchess County Family Court.
Very much.
They're trying to conform
They're
you.
trying to yeah.
It's crazy. The world is
It
different.
don't work, especially not for us men, because we're gonna look at it logically and be like, no,
Nah, that ain't it.
that 2 and 2 does not equal 4.
All the time, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even in some relationships, like, why? That doesn't really make what?
Yep. Exactly. But of course, like I said, they like to use excuses, say that's toxic masculinity. We got a rolling video that we want to check out that you wanted to share, so we're gonna share that and be right back to wrap up.
Family courts only grant shared parenting to 20% of divorced or split families.
That means 28 million children are being raised without one of their parents.
If my parents share parenting, I'll have fewer stress-related illnesses.
If my parents share parenting, I'll be less likely to engage in delinquent behavior.
If my parents share parenting, I'll be more likely to graduate high school and college.
I'll be less likely to abuse drugs, alcohol, and nicotine.
I will be less likely to suffer from depression. I'll be less likely to become pregnant as a teenager.
I'll be less likely to become a teen father.
I'll be more likely to have positive relationships with my grandparents. If my parents share parenting, they would be more likely to be in my child's life.
One of the first things you taught me is how to share. Share parenting.
Studies have proven that shared parenting makes healthier, happier children.
All right.
All right.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
That was
Yep.
awesome rolling. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. So why did you want to share this with them? What's the point that you wanted to make?
I think it's valid and valuable that the strength that men have within them, the challenges they've had to encounter. I mean, we're going back to like slave days when it was you that had to work out there in the heat and there's just so much, but psychologically we have to get past that now. I met a group of brothers. I can't remember the culture, and then I don't want to misstate it, but there was 5 guys. I'm sorry, and they met in the back of the Division Street Grill in Peekskill. I was a DJ at this event. I was setting up, and they were in the back screaming at the top of their lungs at each other. And the owner of the Division Street Grill, we don't really associate much anymore, but I asked him, like, what are they doing? Like, we got an event like 3 hours, and they're back there like, he's like, in their culture, what they do is, they get the 2 people that are disagreeing with each other, and they sit them down, and you get 3 people to listen to each side of the story. And when the 3 people hear each side of the story, the 3 people take a vote on who they think is right and who they think is wrong.
Yeah.
And whoever they feel is right, the person that was wrong has to pretty much let it go.
Yeah.
If they try to take it to court, you got A and B. If the 3 people agree that A is right and B still feels he's wrong and he takes A to court, then those 3 are going to support A when he goes to court.
Wow.
The idea is to keep them from having to go to court, period, and get in this United States system. And I think that's not just a cultural thing, that's a psychological thing. And it's like, you have to believe in your brother. I have to believe in my community again in order to know that, there are different ways to handle our dysfunction.
That's right.
When I was growing up, I say this to my son all the time, when I was growing up, if I did anything that these little kids did, it wouldn't have to be my mom and dad to find out. The neighbor of my grandmother, Miss Sherby, if she saw me doing it, my godmother, Allison, if she saw me doing it, if Stephen Vance's mother saw me doing it, if my cousin Jamal, my aunt Charlene, if any of them saw me doing something that was gonna put my life in danger or my future in danger, they would step to the plate and say that's wrong.
Right.
And we've gotten to the point now where parents are so loose that we just see a kid going crazy and just it is what it is.
I'm not really sharing about the kids that ran over the sheriff out there, the retired sheriff.
God!
Filmed it.
Yeah,
it's like just the whole psychological into. We're gonna film us killing somebody.
Exactly. Yeah. So my whole purpose of that is just to remind people, like we come from a community where, and not to make this a racial thing, but my brothers and sisters, we come from a background so strong that if we ever united on the
Come
level,
on now.
if we ever united on the level that they see us united on, we would be the most dominant force on this
That's
earth.
right.
When you look at the history of everything the black people have
That we
been through,
endured.
and you look at the president's wall.
Yep.
There's only one other color on that
That's
wall.
right.
A black man. A black man. Like, so imagine if we didn't have the struggles that we had.
Yep.
If we were able to build those cotton, or pick those cotton farms and build these trains and
Come on now.
imagine if we had that without being slaves. We just had to do it on our own.
Sure.
We'd be dominant.
Be like the old days of the Egyptian Empire.
Yes,
Building it up.
dominant. But we're in a position now where we can flip that. I listened to, and I'll stop after this. I listened to an interview that Akon was on. The singer Akon, and he
Yes.
said that if all of the NBA players put their money together, they can create their own league,
Sure,
and
absolutely.
they could even take it overseas if they wanted to.
Oh yeah, big
And make
time.
the same amount of money on a geographical area where the resources that they
Yeah.
would need to survive is already there.
That's right.
And they wouldn't have to worry about the white coach or the
Nope.
racism or the putting your knee down and
Nope.
you can't say the pledge of allegiance, whatever else there is that they're forced to do.
That's right.
If they put their money, we now are in a position to realize the power that we have, but we just have to tap into these children. Because President Douglas said what he says. It's not easy to change an adult, but it's easy to guide a child.
Sure.
And that's where we are. So
That's right.
I just want people to understand that that's where I'm at. But I do want people to know, Dutchess County Court may be crazy.
Yes. That's right.
That's foolishness, man. That's crazy.
But truth will go marching on, and as long as you stand in truth, brother, I'm telling you, ain't nothing can stop it. Because again,
right.
like I'm saying, we see so many things getting overturned, so many things being set right. And again, it's part of God's prophecy. He told us in these latter days, he's going to, as you saw in that prophecy that I just shared with you, that he's going to return everything back to the order. Why? Because he's giving people another chance to heal and restore and get themselves back together.
That's right.
Okay? That's what he's trying to do with all these families. So he's overturning all the protocols that the enemy has put in place to divide the family, and he's overturning it to bring it back together. Because he's already said that he's soon to return. So he's trying to get everybody a chance to get it right.
Yes.
Get themselves together in the way that he ordained it to be from the beginning. So I'm excited about everything that you're doing, bro.
Yeah.
I'm excited about seeing the move of the hand of God. And so,
Yeah,
so just
absolutely.
know that we're praying for you and the family and stuff, and we support you and what you're doing. And everybody, I want y'all to like, share, and subscribe, and to get this message out. Because he's going to continue to have these meetings, these rallies, and everything around this to overcome and defeat the lie of the devil, period. And that's what we're talking about here.
100%.
All right. Anything you want to wrap up and say that you see going on, Jet? Like I said, we're going on a little bit because you're going to bring the new millennials perspective on this whole message. You see, a lot of y'all, like he said, they say, I ain't getting married. I ain't having no kids.
Yeah.
I know it's definitely it's happening in my generation like a lot, especially with all this foolishness of all the back and forth, the bickering between our generation and us stuck in our phones and everything, just watching social media, scrolling with all this tomfoolery of this dysfunctioning, us just operating in a dysfunctional relationship because it's how the world designed it to be and how the devil designed it to be, to cause chaos and confusion, to break up. It just and just making like divorce normalized and everything, just trying to get the devil just doesn't want the family to be stable, and this is why we're trying to take each other away, take the mother out, take the father out, but the order of God is calling us to have it rightly one another, especially in the covenant of a marriage. He wants us to do it by his word because he can bless us and he can just increase us in that manner where we don't have all this chaos and confusion and dysfunction and we have to tear each other apart. Like, that's not what we're called as, especially. And this is why, most importantly, why we showing you to have the walk as a man of God, because we can't do it without him on this front, because all these things are going to happen. You're going to get those curses upon you if you're not staying locked in with Father God. And I'm glad I'm getting this early. I'm glad I'm getting this fat early. I'm just taking all the points from both sides these years. Like, this is why I gotta stay
See, he's
locked
preparing
in.
you. Yeah, year
Exactly.
20. This is year 23 for you.
Yeah,
He's preparing you.
me. So I'm like, okay.
Most banksmen get married and have a family between the ages of 25 and 30. Yeah. Traditionally, through our family, that's when it occurs.
That is awesome.
So he's heading in the same direction. But the temptations to want to do opposite of that and
know.
be conformed to the world. Because you were
Exactly.
sharing with me some of your classmates. They're already married. They already got the kids. You know, they got kind of stuff going on. I was like, great, praise the Lord. I'm glad they're already married. Because the world is saying for them not to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know,
And it you know,
they dead sin against that. Because why? Y'all come together now. You're more powerful standing together like that. Legally, to
Especially if
legalize, you're able.
you take your time and get married for the right
That's
reasons.
right.
You know, it always helps in the
And in the
long
right order.
Yeah, there you go too. That helps all the way. You know,
Because the
and
protection
also,
on both parties.
my father, you know, let me share this. My father used to tell me, you know, when you find someone you love, have the foundation conversation. And that was the one thing I think that
foundation conversation.
I slipped on in some of the relationships that I was in. But the foundation conversation, basically just, you know, do you believe in what I believe in? You know, what do you believe in? How do you feel about
That's right.
raising children? Like, what's your,
That's right.
what do you feel about discipline? You know, what do you eat? Are you willing to conform to healthy foods if I ever went? And of course, the question of like health, like, do you think that you can manage being around me or with me if I was to break a leg? Or, you know, like, you have that foundation conversation and then hoping that is a genuine conversation. You
That's
can really
right.
decide if you're going to be on the path of marriage or if this is just not going to be
That's right.
what you wanted it to be, you know. But some people these days is, you know, she look good.
Yeah,
That's right. Face up flesh. That's it.
Where you
That's
married?
good. You figure it out,
good
right?
boy. You got that money. I
Then all of a
married
sudden,
you,
now
boy.
they're complaining.
2 months
she's
later,
a
like,
real hell raiser. I can't stand it no more. I'm like, oh, well, you should have thought about that before you said I do.
she don't cook.
As long-
She don't clean. He don't work.
Exactly. All that chaos and
All that
confusion.
stuff just happened after 4 months of being together. Things changed.
But then his generation looks at that and it says on Fresh and Fit and all that kind of stuff. Nah, see, I don't want to do that because look what happened to y'all. Y'all went and did that. See what happened? Yeah, but they didn't, like you said, they didn't do it right.
Yeah. A lot of people aren't doing it right, and that's why it looks like that. But the ones that are doing it right, you know, I love when I get invited to like DJ, you know, the 50th anniversaries. I did I think it was a 30th anniversary on the yacht, maybe like a month and a half ago. Yeah, and it was just like the love. It's like, yeah, I can see why they made it 30 years, you know, and everybody has their ups and downs, you know,
That's right.
but when you really, really understand one another, you know, love one another, and you keep God in it, it's just you'll be successful.
Yeah. Especially need him. He's a mediator.
Yeah.
When you can't agree, he'll help you come to terms where you're able to agree to move forward.
Exactly.
My brother tells me the same all the time. Like, all right, I'll take your word. 'Cause this is a test. But yeah, I wish you success, man. Nothing but success, you know.
Yeah, so yeah, before we close out, I did want to ask you this, Jethro. So what we watched the video Father's Day from Kirk Franklin and stuff, so I want to know what you got out of that, you know.
Well, I'm glad that he got, you know, some closure on the situation. You know, that's much needed. You know, that's
Definitely
things that,
was.
you know,
Yep.
I'm telling you, I gotta give
time.
Canada and Father
That's God.
But the thing is, like, we're
that.
praying on his behalf. You know,
That's
we
right.
want
Yes, we
things
are.
to get restored in Kirk Franklin's life. We've seen that he strayed away from the things
Yep.
of God in many
Because of
different
all that
aspects.
hurt and pain.
Because it's now seeing all the hurt and pain that he was going through, especially on the family side.
He was
of
acting
things.
out.
He was exactly.
That's exactly what it is.
He was just acting out, and it just gave me, you know, to help empathize on the situation and be like, oh, have a more understanding,
Yeah.
and to see like, okay, this is what we need to be more directly praying on,
Yes.
especially against the offenses of the enemy
That's
on
right.
his life, you know. And I was like, okay, then I see how his other side, his mother's side of the family operating in this wickedness and tearing each other apart, backbiting and all that. And I was like, dang, this is really. I'm like, dang, the mother's really driving away the fops.
That's right. I was floored to actually see it on camera.
Yeah.
To see somebody like, and like I said, this go back to the courts. Even though you provide facts,
Right.
I don't believe that. Wow.
Yeah.
Go get another test. Get another test. I still don't believe that.
Yeah. Like, back and forth.
But this is facts. Nope, they ain't got nothing to do with my emotions. I don't feel that way.
right.
I'm like, wow. And then the course be like, you know what? Imagine in the course the course that you described today, they would have to say, don't believe your lying eyes. The judge would say, don't believe your lying eyes. I don't care what that paternity test says. I'm going with the mother. He's not the father. That's what be happening.
It's different. We gotta stop it before it can get there. We don't start fighting fathers. It can get there.
Exactly.
But
What'd you get out of video?
You know what? I was happy to see that. You know, Kirk Franklin had the love he had. You know, I think that even when I was growing up, you know, I didn't see my biological father from ages 2 to 17 because of whatever happened between him and my mother.
Yeah.
And when I saw him again, I was happy, but I was more happy to see my little sister than anything.
See,
like I got a sister. Oh, it's
Yeah.
over.
Wow.
Like I'm cool with you. I'm happy we know each other, but this is what I need.
Yes.
Like you know. But what bothered me though, even to this day, it doesn't bother me as much anymore. But is the hate that he has for my mother for what she did.
Yeah.
Is trampling is like trampling his life right now. You know, it's like
he got to deal with that.
yeah, he just, he hates, he gets mad at people, cuts them off, and he's just angry at everybody. But you understand it because you lost your first son due to somebody's emotions.
Right.
You know, but when Kirk Franklin reunited with his father, like there was no, I hate somebody because I didn't grow up with you. Like I'm just happy that we're in this moment.
Exactly.
And that's to me that was a powerful, vision to see. You know what I'm saying?
It promoted reconciliation for his son.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just to see his father torn up that he had missed out on 53 years of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see that response was beautiful. Because, imagine if, wow, just imagine if he would have been there. Because he talked about, Dad, he was right there. And my son was playing across the street at his friend's house, right across the street from where his biological father had been living all these years. Oh, wow. It's just amazing. Yeah. He said, I wouldn't have had to struggle for nothing. My father would have been able to provide for me and help me. The very thing I was praying for that I needed, wasn't there. And so, but he's willing to put all that to the side to form a relationship now with his father. And as a result, he took that information back to his son and it opened up the door for reconciliation between them two. Yeah. And now, so this is what God does. He flips the script every time, where the enemy would say, leave it alone. He don't have nothing to do with you. He walked away. I always say there's two sides of the story. I keep telling people this every single time. There's only two sides. I said, even with my grandmother, okay, she got pregnant at the age of 13. Back then, in the early 1920s, if you're a black family and you do some stuff like that, and your father's a leader in the community and he's a pastor over the church, that's huge scandal. Yeah. That's huge shame on the family. So I told my fathers, I said, I really believe, based on what my aunt Helen was saying and some of the pieces that she dropped, that the family did not approve of what happened. Yeah. And they drove the father away. Yeah. Okay, so I said, and again, that has poisoned down in our communities to the point that now it's starting to happen where the mothers are driving the fathers away. Get rid of them. Get rid of and then we got the community and culture saying, no, they can do it by themselves. So I'm just seeing this reinforcement of the same thing. And I always tell people this. I said, look, it's the same devil. It's just a different day.
There you go.
He's just repeating the same crap that he keeps doing. Anything to tear up the family. So when I saw the healing reconciliation going on, because I even looked at it this way, I said, well, you know what, Kirk? The fact that God was in your life, being our master father and who he is, making up for whatever you are lacking. Because like he said, he went from poverty to being provided for. When he began to pursue his relationship with God, God began to be the father that he's called to be in his life, to provide for those things, to start taking care of him and helping him and protecting him.
Right.
So this whole reconciliation thing that I saw that God moved upon his life, like Pastor Jethro was saying, people are praying for you, Kirk. We saw you wilding out. We saw he even said one of these guys a rebuke. Say, yo, you gotta cut it out, man. You're getting too way out there. But again, we understood it that there are deep hurts, deep issues, stuff going on that's causing him to rebel against God. To say, God, no, I prayed that I find my father. I ain't never found my father. I'm mad. I'm gonna wild out. I'm gonna be upset. People gonna know my wrath and fear. Because why? Enemy's manipulating you. Yep. He's manipulating you.
Some people
through emotion.
Work. Yeah.
So that's what I saw when this behavior. I kept saying, I said, there's stuff going on with him that making him behave like this. So when I saw this, I said, look, see how God's trying to work it out? He's trying to redeem him, bring him back, and get him back together, And that was one of the missing things that he was praying for. That's what he said. He was praying for he wanted, and he thought he buried his fire there, and all that hatred toward the guy, it wasn't even the guy. And then now he got the full story. That homeboy just didn't even know you even existed.
Yeah. Wow.
And there's a lot of fathers out there like that. They don't even know because mother ain't telling them nothing.
Yeah. But like I said, that's powerful. But when he saw Kirk again, he wasn't like, I hate this and I hate that.
No,
he just
right.
like, I'm just happy that we got to meet each other again, So I thought
He gave up his DNA willingly so that he said, "This is for him." I don't know. This is for him. He saw the need of the child first, and that's what us fathers do. We're concerned about them first. But that's toxic masculinity when you do that. That don't go with our narrative. That don't apply. I don't want to go back through this again, but I mean, I get tired of hearing it.
For real. I don't blame you.
You can't you're trying to misidentify me and make me act like something wrong with me because I'm doing the right thing.
That made me think something wrong with me.
That's what I'm saying.
But like I said, it's we said this. I said this same statement when we were talking about racism and response. It's just we have to work on changing the narrative to what the reality is, rather than what everybody's emotions are. And because emotions, like you say, emotions change.
Yeah.
Every moment, you can love somebody and you can hate them in the next moment, want to kill them, and then after you get over that, you want to love them again. Like this, it's just what emotions do. But changing the narrative, changing the narratives for fathers. Like when I said, people say, there's not that many fathers that fight for their kids. No, there's actually a lot.
There is.
They got a nationwide movement.
Right.
So don't say it's not a lot, but again, it's not being televised.
No.
And once you restore that father structure into your household, the world is going to change.
That's right.
There's going to be less crimes, less dysfunction. These attorneys ain't going to be millionaires and millionaires anymore because I don't have to pay you to take custody of my child. I'll be able to have a conversation with the child's mother.
That's right.
Like a responsible parent should be able to do.
That's right.
But once you restore that father structure, it's not just going to change custody battles. It's going to change a lot. And, I don't know if people are really ready for that. That's why it's best to make it seem like the father, especially the black and brown father, isn't there for their children. It's a good narrative to keep and keep our people dysfunctional.
That's right.
Our dysfunction pays their bills.
One thing I've seen that's causing also a forcer for this change is that, like you were sharing with me about the multiples of different fathers here in New York that deal with this, they decided to kick down the racial barrier and just deal with gender. These are men, and this is how we're going to treat them. So we got Puerto Rican, white, blacks, Hispanic, Indian. They don't care. They just treat them all the same. So that goes to show you, at the end of the day, the social construct of race it gets applied where they want to apply it.
That's when they want.
Because if they were supposed to apply it, then the white man coming before the judge should be treated differently from the black man that come before the judge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Per se, in each racial case. But they seem to apply the same narrative toward all these fathers. None of y'all good.
Yeah.
The mother's right. The man is wrong.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. There's a even some of the people, like it's gonna take a little time. I think a bill like the one that we're trying to pass will start the fire from where, but it's going to be a long way to go. But there's like some people who try to help don't even realize that they're helping but not pushing for, like, so I saw, and I'll give you an example of what that means. I saw a video where Judge Judy was talking, and she told the mother, like, the father is not a second-class citizen. Like, he deserves to see his child.
Look at that.
So that was the powerful part. That was the fire. But what made me realize it's gonna take a long way is she told the guy, go down to the court, file for child support so you can pay child support and get a visiting schedule with your child. And I was like, she's right. He's not a second-class citizen, but why should he be a visitor? They live in the same city, same town. He has a fair schedule. Why should he pay child support and get his child for dinner on Wednesdays and every other weekend? Why shouldn't he have equal access to his child from the beginning?
Right.
Why shouldn't it be 50-50? Look, I love the kid just as much as you love the kid. I love our daughter just as much as you love our daughter. Why do I have to sacrifice my time with my daughter because of my gender? Or if that's not the case, then why?
Right.
Why wouldn't she say, you know what, he's not a second-class citizen. If you guys can't get along, come up with a schedule where you both can have your child the same amount of time, if possible. Now, if he's in the military and he's going back and forth to Japan or Ukraine, it's different. But if he's working a 9 to 5, working from 8 to 4, you working a 9 to 5 from 7 to 3, why? Why not start off?
That's right.
With 50. There's no domestic violence in this case.
Right.
There's no drugs. There's nobody's in prison. Nobody's a rapper who's touring around the world every day. Like, there's nothing in here preventing this man from having his child equal custody with the woman other than the judge.
That's right. There you go. And, and like you're saying, it's going to take a while for the bill, but look at it this way. When it's a standard or principle, like I shared with you today, it's coming from God. He said this, he turned to Peter and said, upon this revelation, I'll build my church and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Gates of hell. What are you talking about? There are literally gates of hindrances trying to stop your word from prevailing? Yes. But he said it won't prevail. It's going to be bust through. So all the hell they keep throwing up in your face to stop this thing from going through, it's not going to stop it. Remember the scene from the movie? From the movie Star Wars. I remember a scene where Obi-Wan and his master were coming onto the ship, and the people turned against them. They blew up their ship. They escaped that. They started going up there to head up to the control room on the station, and all of a sudden all these bots came out shooting at them, and they had to fight through all of that. Then they got up to the door, and like the standard door, closed. So he stuck his lightsaber in there, started opening that, and they added more doors behind that, trying to stop that. He's like,
never stopped, but he kept going.
Kept busting through that. So it's not gonna stop you, bro. It's not gonna stop. It's gonna be done. And you're like a pit bull too when it comes to certain stuff, anyhow. So
so we'll be ready. We'll
keep
going until I can't go anymore.
That's right. Going. Till it's done.
Yeah. That's it.
Right. It's on to the next thing. What else you got me do, Lord? I love that. That was a good fight.
When I got out of office, they was like, yo, what are you doing now? Like, why are you? I said, I don't know. I went through courts. Now I want to do this. Like, it just happens, even when I ran for office, like I always wanted to be in the community. We used to do little kickball events and fundraisers and school book bag drives and everything you could think of. And then they asked me to run for council. I was like, nah, I don't really care for politics too much. I'd rather just help whoever's running.
Sure.
And do it. And lady came to my job, said, if you run for office with them, I'm gonna ruin you.
Wow, that's so wicked.
I said, now I'm running. Like my basis of running wasn't even because I just wanted to be a politician. It was like, this woman said she's gonna ruin me for helping, but what? Ruin me, and boy, did she try. I won't. But you said that door won't stop closing. That lady tried everything she could. I was reading stuff about me like,
look at that.
I wouldn't vote for me either. Like, if that was true, it was really, really, really bad. But
Father God's taking all that to prepare you for this battle.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And this is a major one, and that's what He does. He horns us and get us ready for the things that He's putting us forth here, our purpose and our goal for why He has us here.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. Because now you have background knowledge, irrefutable knowledge, to be able to talk to legislators because of you served as a mayor and everything. And so it's hard for the devil to be like, don't listen to that guy. He's just one of our citizens. He ain't got nothing to say. But no, he's a former mayor of Peekskill. You can't get away with that.
That's the God-given truth. I know people say to me all the time, like when I got the custody, I got them. They're like, do you think you got it just because you were the mayor? And I said, I don't know why I got it, but I do know that I wasn't going to stop fighting until I got it.
Sure.
So whatever the background was, this wasn't going to be over. And 2 years after court, I'm still going back. Like I'm just going back now because I want to see the court shut down. I
just caught some exposure of corruptions in the court. Another person being lifted up to show the abuses and the corruptions that's going on in the court. That's what's happening. Yeah. That's why they had to treat you with kicking gloves. They didn't want to kick over a hornet's nest of political outpouring because they're not dealing with your case correctly. So they're trying to,
the lady
I want to do this to him, but I can't do it because I know he knows and he got this connection, and they have to rethink it. They can't just keep applying the standards so quickly because they're like, oh man, this could go badly for me if I don't play it right.
You never know. The lady who handled my child support case, she ended up recusing herself after the whole situation. But check this out, though. The support magistrate that took on my case after her, a week later, took everything off. He said, you're not paying child support anymore. Like, he did everything the way it was supposed to be done based on the custody and the evidence of the tax information I gave him back in March of that year. That was September when he made the change. Nothing had changed in my circumstance. The only thing changed was the judge.
Wow.
That judge is no longer with Dutchess County Court.
Oh.
Case in point.
The good judge that did the right thing is no longer with the court. So I don't
see what the devil does.
I don't know.
He's like, oh man, I gotta get to see. That's my. I said, further proves my point.
He might have got drafted to the NBA. I don't know what happened. He just not there anymore.
once things are set right, what's he going to try to counter that? Oh, you got to get you out of here.
Yeah.
You can't have that going on.
But
you're exposing. The more that happens, the more you expose the corruption.
And I can't, and I can't prove that that's exactly what happened. But it's just really interesting to know that the one judge who I felt was really actually, fair from the time I walked in his court. There was no, like even the custody judge was like, that's not fair that you haven't let the father see his daughter. Like, that's not right. You have to let her see his daughter. And then she said, I'm going to give you guys a temporary custody order. And it was like Wednesdays.
Yeah, but that judge had a father in her life. They don't like judges sitting on the family court that have anything remotely that pictures a father and child relationship. They don't like that.
That remotely.
No, because it doesn't fit the narrative to be able to put people there that are going to make emotional decisions. That's
a good statement to look into. That's a very
if you want the judge to be free and fair, they have to have a clear picture of how those relationship and dynamics work.
Exactly.
If they don't, they're going to be tilted every single time. I don't care what you say. They're not supposed to, but they're going to apply that standard.
Yeah. I mean, they just say it's the best interest. That's boy, I'm gonna do some homework now. Go on, do some homework. Good nuggets. Because I want to get some statistics on that.
Yep.
In New York, there's no statistics on outcomes of hearings. New York and Rhode Island are two of the worst states when it comes to.
They want to hide it.
Yeah. Yeah, they keep it low.
That's why.
They keep it low.
You see, but exposure is coming. That's what's been happening over the last couple of years. Our entire political system is on display. It's showing so much foolishness that we've never seen before. We had no idea stuff like that's going on. Right. But it keeps getting exposed. So I see guys cleaning it up. He's like, yo, he's like, look at this. Pulling all these blankets out. Look at that. Look at that. I'm like, wow. And the news is getting to the point that the news like, look, we tried to cover up for you, but we can't do that no more. But too many people seeing it because you got people on YouTube video recording it, showing all this stuff. All that stuff is happening. So it's
making
like
memes out of it.
Like, look, that's right. We're gonna have to.
Whenever something crazy happens, the first thing we do is go to TikTok and Instagram.
Yes,
somebody got a crazy meme up or a crazy video up.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
So I'm saying, that it's being exposed. So that's why, I know they're trying to hold these tech companies responsible. Oh, you need to pull that information down. Don't block it. You can't stop it because
people's rights.
No, you can't.
They trying to get
good, bad, or indifferent. It needs to be posted.
Yeah.
The whole thing's accountable because you guys tried to control the media and what we see on the news. Yeah. So now people they don't trust the news no more. They're like, I'd rather go see with my own eyeballs. Don't try to tell me my eyes are lying. I'm gonna go look it up myself. And that's what more and more people are doing, to the point that people are now looking up to see what bills have been passed legislatively now.
Yes.
They're no longer just jumping on the president, the governor, the mayor. They're like, no, what's going on with the legislative branch?
Yeah.
Those are the ones that control the pocketbook. What's going on with them folks? What they doing? People are now looking at that now and talking about it on and pulling up evidence of it and stuff online. I'm like, look at this.
Who's sponsoring it?
They talk about this stuff now. We never seen that in our culture before, where our people are that consciously aware of the entire political system like that. So now things are changing.
Oh yeah.
And now they're like, oh wait, don't believe your lying eyes. You don't understand. No, this is your signature on this bill. This is what you approved of. Well, no, that was the party line vote. I'm like, that ain't got nothing to do with it. You voted for it.
That's the worst. But it's the thing is, my thing is, what I realized too is everything that's, excuse me, everything that's become normal now wasn't normal at one point.
That's right.
And I don't want it to become normal where fathers continue to say, I'm not going to fight.
That's right.
Like, I don't want it to be normal that if a father's fighting for his kids and he's angry, he's considered crazy. So my thing is, before I let them to continue to call it normal, or to portray a father being upset about his kids and not seeing his kids, it's crazy. Because even my own blood, some of my own family say, why is he always fighting for that? Like, just let her have the kid. Like, it's just
wow.
Yeah, it's me and one of my there's a relative that I don't really associate with anymore because that was her mentality. It's like, if the mom wants to move, just let the mom move and take the kid. Like, but I also know that person's background, and that person's background. It's not even just the father not there.
Right.
Like you were in different places growing up.
Right.
So not only do you not understand the relationship of a father and a child, but you don't understand the relationship of a parent and child correctly yet.
That's right.
So my battle with you is not it's not personal, you know, because you don't even know what you're fighting against.
That's right.
But when they say all of these fathers that are fighting for their kids is crazy, call us that until fighting for your children becomes a normal thing.
That's right.
You know, you can call it crazy all you want because you only see 7 fathers in New York doing it, 9 fathers in Las Vegas doing it, and 4 fathers in Kentucky doing it. But at the end of the day, once that news grabs onto it, you'll see there's literally movements across the nation of fathers doing what I'm doing better than I've done.
That's right.
You know, there's a few states that have already passed these bills. Kentucky, Arkansas, they've already passed these bills. So I'm not the only one doing it.
That's right.
But y'all haven't publicized it yet. So it looks like when you see somebody doing it, oh, he crazy. All right, call me crazy until you see the rest of us doing the same thing. And then restore that family structure back in these communities.
Right, exactly.
Turning the hearts of the fathers back to the children.
I'm gonna watch that part like 12 times. I'm telling you, I'm dead serious. Like when you said that, it hit, man. It really, 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 really hit.
Yep. That's what's happening, bro. All right.
Well said.
Okay. Get ready to close this out then, bro.
Yeah, so I hope y'all had, took
the
some
extended version.
And the extended version, definitely, Bishop.
We had to get it in.
We did. Just to really break it down, especially not only in the physical where we can see, but in the spiritual realm where we can grasp it to our spirit, man. Especially feeding the word to ourselves. Because I'm telling you, this stuff, the way the devil's playing his tricks, nothing has changed over the last few thousands centuries ago. So he's still pulling all these. He's thinking that, all the things that he's playing with manipulation and all these deception tactics is new. It's not. It's not. I'm telling you, y'all, the devil is literally, he can't do anything but what? Suggest. You can just suggest thoughts, ideas, suggestions too. That's all you can do. So, we showing you how limited the enemy's power is and how the power of Father God travaileth over it. We're gonna break. He breaks every chain. I'm telling you. As long as his order is going through, he'll break it.
That's right.
Just like that. And I see that for you, Andre. I'm telling you, pushing that initiative to really get the shared parenting strong. I'm telling you, amongst the fathers, and just bringing the family back together. Really. And so I'm just, again, it's 100%. We're sticking by the order of what Father God originally established.
That's what he said.
That's it. So I'm all forward for that, Bishop. I'm all forward for that, Andre. I was telling you, it's been a blessed time to share this amongst y'all. Hope y'all get some nuggets out of it.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Subscribe. Make sure you subscribe.
Share it out in the algorithm as well.
Yep.
And yeah, man, Bishop, definitely that's all I have to share. I'm passing it back to you.
All right, good. Well, let's close out with a prayer. I'm going to give the honor over to former Mayor Pete Skill. Close us out in prayer. Amen.
All right. I want to say, dear Lord, thank you for watching over us and letting me get here safe today.
Yes, Lord.
Thank you for restoring the vision of family within my eyes. And thank you for blessing my family to get through the struggles and challenges that we've been able to get through. Thank you for giving us these platforms to actually put the word out that you want people to hear, how you want people to hear them. Thank you for watching over my family. Thank you for watching over my friends, protecting my children, and keeping my children in love spirit. Not just in love with each other, but in love spirit, letting them know wherever they go, they shine. People recognize my children wherever they go because of their personalities, and that's because they're raised with love and the spirit. And I thank you for that, and I thank you for allowing me to come to this humble home today.
Amen.
And I ask that you continue to bless this family, watch over this family, and protect those who need protection that don't even realize it, like our homeless people, like our people who are subject to drugs and other alcoholic addictions. I thank you, and I ask you, Most High, please keep an eye on our court systems and our family court systems, because that's what's breaking us up. We need your help in there. We need your hand there. Thank you for everything. God bless, and amen.
Amen. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome, cuz. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all be blessed. We see y'all on the next episode. Remember, Father God loves you. We love you. And Jesus is Lord.
Y'all be blessed.
Hey everybody, it's Pastor Jethro Banks here. I just want to let you know that the Boys and Men of God podcast is also available on Apple Podcasts, as well as Spotify Podcasts, and many more. So y'all definitely be encouraged, and hopefully y'all enjoy this Boys and Men of God podcast. So y'all definitely be blessed.
You're called to fight the holy war. Grab his armor, prepare to fight. We win because of his might. Stand strong, you boys and men of God. Don't fear, just trust in the Lord. Keep the faith, your shield in front of you. March strong, you are a man of God. Voice of men of God, grab your sword and shield. Fight the good fight of faith, for real. Jesus can help us do the Father's will. Don't you give up and have no doubt, no fear. Walk by faith and not by sight.